Hey guys, it's Micah from Sapulpa Times. I am here with Stacey Price, the author of a brand new book that just came out. Would you say late last September, like
September
last month?
30th.
Okay, called Haunted Sapulpa. Was really interested. Her and I talked briefly about this before the book actually came out. But I wanted to have her here to do a special segment with you about it because of all of the different locations that are in there. When you first told me about this, I thought, oh well, this is somebody that's going to dig into like the Native American history of Sapulpa, and you're going to talk about all of these maybe like crazy crime stories or something that happened here. But no, you actually went and you did full on investigations of like every building in town or something.
We got several investigations of different buildings in Tulsa. I don't even know exactly how many properties we ended up in the book. There is 18 or 19 currently on the tour,
Okay.
on the walking tour. But yeah, we every place that would let me in the door, I investigated. So
Okay, so let's start, I guess, kind of start talking about how you got into this because you were telling me just a minute ago about how you were in the Air Force right? Is that right?
yeah.
And and then how did you end up getting into like this paranormal side of things and doing ghost investigations and if that's what you can call it, I don't know.
Well,
You tell me.
the in later life, it started after my mom died, which looking for proof of the afterlife because when somebody you love dies, it's not always like what you see on shows like Ghost and stuff where they look off in the distance and the angels come and everything's great and it wasn't like that for me when my mom passed.
Okay.
So for about a year I had issues with my faith, which I've since overcome. But I went searching for proof, and that led me to the city of New Orleans. And it was there that I had probably one of the more life-changing events that really impacted that there is some things that you just cannot explain. But I've always, as a kid, been interested in horror stories and saw my first apparition when I was 6. And from there, it's just, apparitions appeared periodically. They don't come when you want them to. They
Okay.
show up when it's time for them to show themselves.
Okay. So going back to what you said earlier about kind of your crisis of faith that you had, and I think traditionally, and a lot of people hold the view that the paranormal side of things is kind of contradictory toward to the faith side of things,
Yeah,
and you've even mentioned that you've had folks that they didn't really want you to do an investigation because they felt conflicted about that. So
correct.
how do you reconcile that?
So for me, in the beginning, God gave us free choice. You either eat from the fruit or you don't do not. Um, and I believe that that's kind of the same when we die.
Okay.
I think that when you pass, if there's unresolved things that you're not quite ready to let go of, he gives you that choice to stay maybe a little bit longer.
To try and get some things resolved.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, for some people it's a murder. For some people it's my child is sick, and I mean, if you were a parent, a mother especially, and you had a child that was had cancer or something like that, leaving your family is the last thing. You're going to fight for your health just because you're not ready to leave.
Oh, I see.
And why would that be any different than the afterlife? Energy itself cannot be altered. It is what it is. It just changes forms.
Okay.
So I believe that that energy just channels it to some into something else, which is why, like when we tell people if they think that they've encountered a spirit and it's annoying them, just treat it like a bad roommate. You can when I'm gone from the house, you can make all the noise you want, but I'm home. My children are home. I need it quiet.
So you can still have kind of a dominion of authority there.
Correct.
Uh,
And
uh,
and I would not be able to do what I do if it had not been for my faith because I wouldn't walk into anything that could possibly be demonic without my faith. So I think
yeah.
anybody would be stupid. And I don't mess with demonic things to begin with. If there's a call that I feel is specifically I pull my team out. If you have a heart condition, if you have blood pressure, if you have depression, they're going to target those things. It's been proven time and time again. So why would I want to subject that myself, asthma, blood pressure, whatever,
Hmm.
to something like that? So it's not a good fit for me.
Okay.
But just like there's jerks that you work with every day, there are jerks in the afterworld too. They don't change a whole
It's
lot.
funny. I don't think anybody's ever put it that way
Yeah.
to me, anyway.
Yeah, yeah, there's some real turds in the afterlife, and I've encountered a few of them.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think about like once you're in the afterlife, you think you're at peace or whatever, but you're basically saying that that's not the case at all.
And I believe that most of us do have something. I actually experienced something myself that led me to go see a cardiologist because I wasn't for sure that I had not died in my sleep. When I came back from this dream that I call it a dream, this experience that I had, um, I sobbed for 2 days. I didn't want to come back. I didn't want to leave that dream.
Okay.
And it wasn't like a normal dream. So that actually led me to go speak to somebody about a heart. I mean, there is a heart history in my family. So it's like, well, let's just go check and make sure. But by the time that I used the VA, and by the time that we got to that appointment, they said, well, we have no idea how to tell you if you've been dead in the last 30 days or not. So
I mean, clearly you're not anymore, right?
no, no, heart's good, Dicker's good. But given family history and my age, it's like, okay, let's just go check this little status out and see what we think it might be. But it was all good.
Okay, I have to ask, were they bewildered by that request or something? You went to them and said, I had this crazy experience, maybe a dream, and I think I died while I
Well,
was asleep.
okay, so I
Tell if I
have
did.
really high blood pressure. In fact,
Okay.
whenever I go to the doctors, they say, "Oh, we should check that again." I'm like, "No, that's normal."
Uh,
So, so that led me to actually having a cardiologist to begin with, but it happened to be in timing with this dream. So while I was there, I took out, the opportunity to just ask, "Hey, asking for a friend, but I'm the friend."
wow. Okay, that's a unusual experience for sure.
It was. I'm sure the doctor probably was, saying I probably needed psych eval versus, a heart doctor, but
Cardiologist. I kind of think I can help you here, babe. Um, okay, so going back to what you were saying earlier about the spirits having unresolved
Mhm,
things that are going on
mhm.
that they need to take care of before they can finish the journey, or however you would put it. I was curious, did you find those sorts of things in your investigations in the buildings in Sapulpa? There was somebody that was hanging around.
So yeah, actually there's a spirit of a cowboy that hangs out in the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay,
And he's kind of protective, doesn't want you in there, told us several times to get out. But at the same time, that place used to be an old bordello.
right.
Maybe he thinks he's gonna continue to be, pleasured in the pleasure houses, and doesn't want an audience, wants us to leave so he can do whatever he's doing still in the afterworld.
Okay.
Another time we actually had a cameraman had his camera pushed off of his shoulder and the light broke. And we asked later on in the session, were you responsible for that? And got a positive indication that they were. But
You asked the
we asked the
spirit.
spirit. Mhm.
Okay.
But he was a male in a room that was part of the YWCA, all female.
Uh-huh.
He was the only man there. He wasn't welcome. So we think that they were giving him a nice nudge to tell him to get out.
Oh, because he's a guy.
Mhm.
Okay.
You're filming in a woman's room. This is not proper. You got to think about the times, that stuff wouldn't happen in 1930s.
Right. Couldn't have, right.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay, so kind of on that same note, did you happen to find, well, as you were going through this process of investigating all these different buildings, did you have any like big surprises that came out? I think I don't know how many people, but it's kind of a well-known secret in this town that a lot of our buildings used to be bordellos at one time or
Yeah.
another. And
We actually
like
did
every building here.
we actually did find a bone and a button together up above this chamber, and it was in a location that they would have hidden alcohol during Prohibition.
Okay.
Tanya, I looked at it. I didn't see anything because I was like, I wonder if there's any old bottles. And I just lifted up and looked. Well, she got down on her hand and knees and started digging. And that's when she found this bone. She's a nurse. She identified as a human and took it with her she has all the makings for a haunted museum. She's just looking for a location and she is scouting the Sapulpa area. So
Okay.
that might happen in the future.
All right. You heard it here first,
You
guys.
did hear it here first.
So you did this walking tour,
hmm
and it was how long did you say? 2 hours?
It averages out about, an hour 45 to 2 hours, yeah.
Okay. And I would think that that would be just like an insane amount of time to spend on something like that. But you said you had like a couple in their 70s
hmm
that were having a great time, and
Yeah, I asked him if it was
too long
too
anymore.
much. So did, physically, did it feel like it was too much of a demand? Did it seem like it drug on? Was there an equal amount of history versus paranormal? Were you pleased by that? And yeah, they had nothing but great things to say.
Great. Okay.
So.
So on that tour and investigating all the buildings and stuff, and I don't know if you mentioned any of this in your book, but did you have like any other buildings that you were just like, man, this is really neat. If you're only able to go to maybe like one place, be sure to go to this one.
So I have two favorites in this town. And they're honestly the library and the historical museum.
Okay. And why is that?
Um, the library has just really outspoken ghosts. I mean, they told us that we were boring. It, So, when I say they told us, I have to talk for just a second about my Geoport and my Fentbox.
Yeah. Okay. Let's hear it.
They are a form of ITC, which is an intelligent form of communication that basically allow the dead to speak to us. And when I say allow the dead to speak, it's sentences. It uses a transistor radio that has been redone to where your radio stations are like 104.5, 106.9, 87.7. I mean, it just goes like this, just really quick, snap, 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 snap. It doesn't ever stop.
Okay.
It doesn't stop on any station. And even the guy that created it says he doesn't really quite understand why it works the way that it does. But it literally goes the whole time, and you're able to get complete sentences that will come through.
And are these sentences getting cut off like every time it changes the station or something? No.
No.
Okay.
No, it doesn't
That
stop.
is
It's running the entire time. I don't even touch it. It's just literally sweeping stations and it's using that static or that little background, that little because it's not stopping to create words and sentences.
okay. And is that the box that you have here? Is
Yes.
that what it is? Yeah, show everybody. This is neat because when she had described this to me, I imagined like some sort of sci-fi space age looking gadget or something, but it looks just like a regular radio.
And it is. It's literally an older radio I believe this is from the 40s, that's had all the guts taken out and new things put in. There is no dictionary inside this, so there's nothing to feed words, there's nothing to feed sentences. It literally uses an old time transistor radio.
Wow. And it just runs the whole time that
It
you're trying to
just
get
runs
messages.
really fast through AM stations. Just
AM only.
well, it can do AM or FM. It's a transistor radio. It's like a normal radio that if you were, before the days of Walkmans and stuff, this is what you plugged in and listened to. And they've just altered it to where it never stops on a station.
Okay. And
But I used that, and like we asked how many spirits were in this building, and I have this crazy EVP, electronic voice phenomena, reply of 170 in a woman's voice that sounds just like that. Go say 170. I mean, she just really wanted us to know how many were in here.
she was excited to
She was
tell you.
excited, yeah, yeah. So, your responses sometimes make sense and sometimes that they don't. And like I was explaining to you earlier, if you're on one side of a communication device like a telephone, I explained it to it like this is the only phone in a prison, and you have all the inmates on the other side and all the family members on the other side behind you,
Hmm.
you're gonna get background peeled like, tell Jan I love her, or tell, Susan I love her.
Right.
Um, they're gonna be hollering things back at you, and you just have to try to make sense of what they're trying to relate. And
Right.
then,
Yeah, you said because they
mhm,
don't know when that phone call is going to be cut off, and so everybody's going to try and get out what they have to say
yes.
as soon as they can. So, do you? One thing that you kind of touched on earlier, we were talking about the spirits that stick around because they have unfinished business.
Mhm.
Have you, in your investigations and stuff, have you been able to help someone finish out their business and maybe they moved on or whatever happened? I don't.
So we actually asked a spirit to cross over because it didn't need to be there anymore.
Oh, okay.
This was a private investigation in Tulsa, and my two guys were there with me again. We were all three in the room. Um, the woman called us in because she said the kids keep seeing, and they call them the monsters in the closet. But they kept seeing people in the closet, and there was nobody there. And so we just asked them if they wanted to go to the other side, if they wanted to go be with God, go into the light, that their family members, their pets, people that they loved were there. When I asked them to go, to not talk to anybody else, just not to look back, just to go, we got the reply, "Thank you," and he's gone.
And those children that were there haven't seen anything
No,
since?
yeah. I give my phone number to them to follow up if they need anything at all.
Mm,
We don't charge for this. We just go out and we do it because, people don't know who they can ask. They don't know who they can call.
yeah.
Maybe they don't have good clergy. Maybe they don't have clergy at all. And so they're not comfortable contacting the police for fear of CPS retaliation, or,
Right.
having CPS called on them. So they look for alternate anything that anybody can happen. And there's enough ghost shows on TV that people are starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with the paranormal investigations that teams do. The only thing I would caution people with this is that before you seek out a team, ask for all the names of the team members. Go on oscn.net, do your research, put that team member's name in. You need to protect your home, your family, because you are inviting a stranger into your home. So
And
yeah.
that's actually a really good point because I didn't think about that. But when you said it, I was like, yeah, we're talking about inviting people into your home.
Hmm.
Probably a lot of these folks are in a very vulnerable state, because they're
Hmm.
dealing with some unexplained phenomenon or something.
Yeah.
And, it'd be easy for someone with nefarious intentions to take advantage of that.
I
And
mean, we've already taken a risk going into other people's homes that, there may be a very big risk of mental health issues and addiction on their side as well.
well, true, yeah, okay.
So, yeah, we've had a few houses that we were pretty happy to get out of. And
Did you? I bet. Well, so,
yeah,
okay, so you said the library, and what was the other one? The
the
museum?
museum.
So the museum is, I know that it's a pretty, it's got a great history. I mean, there's obviously a lot of history in there, but that building itself has a great history. And then you were talking earlier about how you guys do fundraisers and stuff. And I think, didn't you do a fundraiser for the museum at one time?
We've done a few fundraisers over the years, and that's why I have such fantastic. My longer chapters in the book, are because we've had repeat invitations to return.
So the other thing that we wanted to really make sure we talked about today is you've got a signing coming up, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
So October 31st, between 1 and 3, we're doing a signing at the Sapulpa Historical Museum. They have books there, unless you've already ordered your copy and you'd like to get it signed by the authors. And so we're doing that. And then at 6 o'clock that evening, and this is a tax deductible ghost hunt. This is a great way to 100% of donations go to benefit the museum. So it's a good fit for everybody. Um,
And there's still spaces available for that and
there
stuff.
are still
Okay.
spaces available. The only way you have to sign up or you can reserve your space is by contacting the museum either through email or by phone, and to get yourself on the list.
Well, at least you'll get to see Stacy, and it
Mhm.
would be even cooler if you hung around and actually participated in this real authentic ghost hunt over at the museum. So it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. and I'm looking forward to. I mean, it's a great day. I mean, Halloween obviously is going to be a
If you wear a costume or you wear a spooky shirt, you get an extra ticket for the raffle prize.
oh, you do?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
keep that in mind then.
we give away prizes.
All right. And lastly, you mentioned earlier the book is for sale at a whole bunch of different places. Can
Yes.
you tell them real quick?
Yeah, so the book is available at Amazon, Target, CVS, Walgreens, Barnes and Noble, and the closest location to us, if you would need to go to a retail location, is Books A Million. But if you're coming to the signing, they do have a limited number of books, so just keep that in mind.
Okay. So if you're not able to either if you're not able to make it to the signing on Friday, or you can't wait, you want to go ahead and buy it now, you can do that.
Yeah. And for future events, anything that we have is going to be on the Haunted Sapulpa Facebook page. Just type in Haunted Sapulpa. We've got future upcoming fun tours such as the Fright Before Christmas. That's going to talk about Christmas customs that are a little bit on the dark side from all around the world. So you're gonna, if you want to alternate to just going and seeing taking pictures with Santa Claus, which can be traumatizing as a child as it is, come to something that's a little bit more geared towards grown-ups.
Yeah, we're going to lean into that traumatizing stuff. That's
Yeah,
good. We'll be able to share more about that when we get the information from Stacy and the
absolutely.
other folks involved. So you guys stay tuned here. Stacy, thanks for coming and
Thank you.
doing this. This is a lot of fun.
This was fun.
Great to hear from you on this, and lots of luck with the sales on your books. I'm sure a lot of people are going to scoop it up. So,
Thank you.
guys, thanks again. We'll see you again real soon.